Warning. The following contains material that may not be suitable for certain viewers. So, unless you like dark tales, then don't watch it! Little Johnny was only 8 years old when he went into the woods. Although he was warned, he chose not to heed the strong warnings of his fellow villagers. But why did he go into the woods, you ask? It was the cries, the innocent sadness of a child.
Maybe he's lonely.
Johnny thought to himself.
Maybe he wants someone to play with him.
So, with a ball in one hand and a loaf of bread in the other, little Johnny ventured forth into the woods. As the night breeze grew stronger, Johnny bravely walked on, feeling that he was big enough to ignore the cold. Why shouldn't he feel big? He was big enough to stay up to 8:30. After several blisters and bruises on the soles of his feet, Johnny reached a cottage. It was a small one, not too posh. But he couldn't help but notice the strange sense of heat he was now experiencing.
Is this why no one wanted me to go?
He thought.
I hardly see how this heat would be dangerous.
He then shook off that feeling. And then he heard something. A cry. The sad sobbings of a child no younger than 3. But when Johnny tried to find the source, all he could find was a puppet. It was about his size. Curious, he went to investigate. The puppet was a mere wooden one, something you would see at a small-time carnival, ever hoping to be the main attraction. The simple touch of this puppet would give a splinter that would last for weeks. But when Johnny touched it, he didn't feel the rough, hard wood that he should have felt. Instead, all the feeling he had was skin, very similar to his own. In fact, very much like his own. Like he was touching himself. Then suddenly, the puppet leapt to its feet.
Hiya, Johnny!
It cried as Johnny fell onto his back, dropping the ball.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I was just excited to see you.
Terrified out of his mind, Johnny was stiff as a board, too scared to move.
Who are you?
He stuttered.
You can call me Pinocchio.
It replied, reaching its arm out.
Let's play.
Johnny was curious. He never saw a talking puppet before, and one that wanted to play with him. Just him.
Why not?
He thought. With a smile on his face, he took the reached-out hand and helped himself up. The entire night they had their fun, playing many games, viewing the sights, enjoying the life of a 10-year-old. Then they played one more game, hide and seek. Pinocchio decided that they should play inside the cottage. While they walked back, Johnny asked him,
Pinocchio, how come you talk and stuff?
Oh, that.
He replied.
My father made me, wishing that he had a real boy. That night, his wish came true. However, I'm not a real boy. Not yet, anyway. My father would have loved me to be real, but he's gone now.
Is he on holiday?
Johnny asked, to which Pinocchio shook his head.
Oh. Well, do you think he'll come back?
I don't think he ever will,
Pinocchio said. They entered the cottage and played their game. Johnny quickly found Pinocchio. He honestly thought that he was the best at this game. Now that it was his turn to hide, he ran to the other side of the cottage, hearing the echoes of his newly found friend. He had to hide. It had to be a good hiding spot, the greatest spot in the history of hide and seek.
Find a hiding place. Find a hiding place. Hiding place. Hiding place.
He finally found one.